You know what the going on.
What's going on, my good people? This your boy, Lipe Up the Entertainer, here to bring you some action between Florida Memorial University and Clark Atlanta University. This is going to be an interesting band battle between both of these bands. This also goes into the series of me grading Clark Atlanta's season. Okay, so I was able to see some footage from one of the bands, but there was not another field show from the other band. So I'm not going to be able to grade field show. But we did get a fifth quarter, and Florida Memorial was able to get this footage. I'm actually very excited to see what they're going to bring to the table as far as this band battle. Now, I got a chance to see Florida Memorial one time, well, two times really, and that was at that Battle of the Bands, but I'm excited. Now, Clark Atlanta, early last year, I was able to see them go against Fort Valley. So if you want to see that footage, please click on the link above, okay? Now, granted, again, this goes into Clark Atlanta season, so it's a lot of things we got to grade. Still got some stuff. I pretty much got recorded all of it. I just got to do the voiceovers for a lot of other things, but we pretty much almost getting it stacked away for Clark Atlanta, okay? But if you're new to the channel, please consider liking and subscribing. It means so much to me, okay? With that being said, look to the cards next to me so you know what we're grading. We're grading sound selection, power, articulation, arrangement, overall cleanness. Maximum points they can make all together is 50, okay? So I'm hoping that they bring their best. I'm looking for things to sound clean, etc. I really want them to really put themselves in the right predicaments in order for them to showcase their true talent. Pen, all that good stuff. I just want them to sound good. Now, granted, this is the beginning of the season, so I'm expecting things to not fully be there completely. But, hey, I'm excited to see what they're going to bring against each other. So, with that being said, let's get to the action. That was a nice response from Florida Memorial. Really enjoyed the song selection from them. They really handled business. One thing I like about it that it was clean for the majority. One thing I would say about it is that I had to give it almost a perfect because of high brass. They was doing good for the majority of the arrangement. It was more so close to the middle part that they kind of struggled on. But overall, still good. Great start for Florida Memorial. Man, I love that arrangement from Clark Atlanta, man. That was really, really nice. Give that shit a Ric Flair moment. Woo! Oh, that was nice. Very, 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 very nice. I enjoy that from Clark Atlanta. I have to give them almost a perfect. There was some parts that were just a tad bit muddy. They could be a little bit defined. But for overall, it was pretty good. So, I gave them a 9 in cleanness. Everything else was a 10. That's pretty much it. Moving on. That was very nice from Florida Memorial. I really enjoyed that piece from them. Very, very balanced sound. One thing I would say is that they need to be cleaned in certain aspects of that arrangement. But overall, I had to give it almost a perfect. Not bad. Moving on. A very good, solid arrangement of Fine China by Clark Atlanta. Very good. I enjoyed the piece. I had to give it almost a perfect. There was some parts that they kind of struggled with as far as getting those phrases out, but consistently they were straight. So almost a perfect.
That was a very interesting piece from Florida Memorial. I really enjoyed that spirit mix. That spirit mix was everything. They really put a lot of time and effort into it. However, there was some parts of it that could have been clean. Also, there was some articulation issues in that. So I just feel like if they would have kept it simple, I think they would have been able to push it further as far as the cleanest department, because the first song was actually clean. The second song was actually clean as well, and then when we got to the third song, that's when the cracks started showing in their arrangements as far as the band able to contain what they're trying to perform. But besides that, everything else was decent, but they got a 48 on that one. Give that shit a Ric Flair moment. Woo! Oh, that was nice from Clark Atlanta. I really enjoyed that from them. One thing I would say, I have to give it almost a perfect. It was just some parts that just need to be just slightly there. It's like just like 5% away from it being a perfect in my eyes. But very, very, very strong arrangement. I enjoyed that piece from them. Like I said, they just need to work on just the small things, just like they touching the perfect in that arrangement for this round, okay? But very strong as we speak. Clark Atlanta is up by 1 point. Count them 1 point. Oh man, I really enjoyed that piece from Clark Atlanta. I have to give them a perfect on that one. I didn't spot anything wrong with that. Granted, I could hear a little bit more percussion, but for the majority, I mean, from what I can tell, it sounded clean. I couldn't really spot anything wrong with that from Clark Atlanta. So yes, they get a perfect, nice arrangement. I think that was one of their strongest songs because they were more consistent in the pocket with that arrangement. Okay, so I could tell they've been practicing that song a lot. But besides that, I mean, hey, I think they doing it. Clark is definitely doing it. Moving on. From Florida Memorial. I think that was their strongest song of that evening for fifth quarter. They were more consistent in this. Now, granted, I would say that they had some moments when they kind of struggled with getting some of the phrases out, but it was good. It was still good. So yes, they get a perfect. You know, they more so sticked it more than any other song that they have played this whole entire time. You know, I think, you know, they probably would have got a perfect if they would have stayed with that first song. You know, if they would have stayed with that first song, that probably would have gave them that perfect in that previous round. But I definitely enjoyed the piece from them. They definitely executed like they needed to. The presentation was there for the song, which I really enjoyed the most about it. The pen is definitely there. That's one thing I got to give from Florida Memorial. They pen is there, you know, so it's very interesting to see how this band evolves over time because I will be keeping up with them. If I can find a way to get to them as soon as I can, I will. But I'm currently on the seek. But right now, I'm thoroughly impressed with Florida Memorial's pen. Very, very, very nice pen. But we moving on. I definitely love the song selection for Clark Atlanta. However, I feel like there was some tone issues going on in that piece. Also, some annotation issues. It was some parts that was also a tad bit muddy. But for the majority, everything else was straight. But I gave them a 48 for that one. A 48. Moving on.
Hey, let's go. Hey, let's go. Hey, we'll be out here all night. Hey, let's go.
I think that was phenomenal. That was phenomenal. They ended up getting a perfect. And so they actually turned Super Saiyan in this one, man. That's two perfects in a row. Not bad at all from Florida Memorial. That actually gave them a 1-point lead because of that response and them being consistent. Whew, that's a difference maker right there. Moving on. I'm glad that Clark saved that for the end because that was not their strongest song. Song selection is 10, power is 10, articulation I gave them a 9, arrangements 10, cleanness I'm going to give them an 8. So definitely need to spruce it up on the small things on that. It could definitely be better, but they got a 47. I hate the fact that they try to go with a power tune at the end. I feel like they could have ended off on a stronger note. They've been musical majority of this battle, so for them to switch up the power tune kind of surprised me. Alrighty, so we want to know who won this battle, ladies and gentlemen. So what I was saying to recap this battle, it was very, very interesting between these two. They were very neck and neck majority of the battle. It was some twists and turns. In the middle of the battle, I had Clark Atlanta up, but when we got close to the end, it was a dramatic shift at the end, and I have to give it to Florida Memorial. Florida Memorial beat Clark Atlanta by 1 point, count of 1 point. So it was a very close battle. Okay, so why did I give it to Florida Memorial? When we looked at those last 2 songs that they presented, they were their strongest and they were very consistent.
Victory.
Okay, when we look at Clark Atlanta, they had their moments, but you know, that second to last song was not the strongest. I feel like there was some note issues, or some tone issues, intonation issues. I feel like they could have executed that song a little bit better than what they did. That was the difference maker. That was the difference maker in that battle. Okay, I would say when we get close to the end of the book of a band or 5th quarter, there's usually those weaker songs, but it's very rare that those songs at the end are very strong in the beginning of the season. So the cracks definitely showed in that. So, but very, very interesting battle from both. I really enjoyed it. Man, hey, that was a nice battle. That was a nice battle. So I really appreciate everybody who checked out this battle. I got more content coming for you for Clark Atlanta, so make sure you guys stick around. I got Clark Atlanta going against Benedict, and then I got them going against Morehouse, and then I got them going against Kentucky. So I got a couple more, and I got one when they're going against Albany. So we got a lot of fifths we got to get going. I think that one with Albany will be the last fifth I grade from Clark, and the rest of them be field show battles. So be looking out for them, okay? But I really appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing your boys some love. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. It means so much to me. Would like to give a special shout out to my channel member. Thank you so much for being part of this family. And also, you could be a channel member too. All you got to do is hit that join tab below. You can also go on my channel and look for the join tab, and you can get that. That comes with different perks and benefits as well. You get to watch past battles. You get to watch strictly percussion battles in there. So if there's a percussion battle that you want me to look at, you can be more than welcome to request, and I'll be able to grade that. So that's the perks of becoming a member. It's only $2 a month. I'll thank you in advance. Also, if you would like to donate to the channel, all you have to do is just hit that thank you tab below. I really appreciate y'all, man. I'm finna get up out of here, man. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Deuces.